Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
Today I had to deliver the bad news to several people that a bird had a stroke. And if you... and I
Was the reaction better or worse, do you imagine, than Haley / Bakugo's reaction to finding out that there's possible incest in City of Bones?
Probably a better reaction in that not as horrifying, but more like traumatic for people. Yeah. Because there's a little more investment, you know? But I had to just be like, hey, did you hear about Bird? And they're like, no. And I'm like, he had a stroke.
Oh my god. Yeah. This was how I found out that big birds like that can live as long as humans. And that really, fucked with me.
Yeah, 85 years in captivity.
In weird ways. I was just like, oh my god.
Birds can live a long time. We had a bird pass away.
A bird could outlive me.
Yeah, we had a bird pass away. I hope they do,
honestly.
A couple months ago who was 32, which just seems like a crazy lifespan for a bird.
You think of birds being born and then living 3 years and then dying.
Blissfully dying in their sleep.
Yeah, they're just, they're God's puff of air out into the world.
But no, we've got we have a bird, some type of hornbill. I can't think of their species name off the top of my head, but their name is Rafiki, and there's a huge joke in the bird show, and everyone's like, "Oh, you named it after Lion King," and it's like, no, this bird was born before the Lion King came out, and was named Rafiki before the
my god
baboon was a thing. So there are birds significantly older than me.
Yeah, Lion King came out in 91.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
How do I know that?
I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe 92.
Birds are cool.
Birds are cool. Cassandra Clare is a con artist, etc. Devin won't watch volleyball anime.
That's so offensive to
peer
me.
Pressure. I'm really just gonna put the peer pressure on him.
Devin, I have watched Emily read upwards of 80,000 comics that you've given her.
I don't want him to feel bad because I have genuinely enjoyed most of the comics.
Yeah, no.
Except the Witches one I just read. I didn't like that one. It was very scary. I don't like horror comics. Yeah. You should have asked me first.
Ooh.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Because it's like she said, she's gone to bat for you. And I feel like comics and anime would be
that's what I thought too.
Mediums.
But I think about it, and I get it. Volleyball anime doesn't really have... Tybalt! I swear to God.
He's been really bad.
He's really mad because we came home and, immediately started recording.
I'm not saying they're the same. I just feel like a love for one would lead to a love for the other.
That's what I thought, too. And I do think that... Hey, I'm coming back to this, Devin. Tybalt,
I just think it's impossible. I find it impossible to believe that there's a human being on this planet who wouldn't enjoy watching Haikyuu. I know I am disgustingly hyper-fixated on it right now to the point of, it's the only thing that makes me happy.
Me about it, every day.
Literally my screensaver right now is this picture of Pokemon.
Number 1. That's a very good screensaver.
Because it makes me happy every time I look at it.
It's so delightful.
Yeah, it's just him in his little jersey saying he's gonna be number 1. So, I get it. I'm, obsessed with Haikyuu at, a gross level. But it's just so, there's nothing about it that I don't think people would like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I need to stop comparing anime to, I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like I enjoy comics more because I've watched a few very high-quality animes. So I kind of, get, the similar, I can sort of do a little brain analysis between Western animation and anime.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, I don't know. I don't know.
I like comic books and anime. It's possible to do both. I like comic books, and volleyball anime exclusively.
Yeah. It's like, I
my
like
only
comic
two
books
genres.
and anime, because I'm bisexual, so...
What are the two genders?
Yeah,
Comic
there's the
books
two
and anime.
there's the two genders, comic books and anime.
Yeah, of course. Which one are you?
Which one are you, or do you like both, or are you neither? Because that's all possible.
Except for you have to like haiku.
Except for you have to like haiku, it's mandated by law, otherwise you'll be shot.
On site.
On site.
It's just so delightful.
We're in the double digits. We have to introduce the podcast.
But
I know we don't want to talk about Perrin fucking, but we have to.
I would so much rather talk about this boy.
I know, he's perfect. He's just so stupid.
I know, I love him.
He's just such a himbo.
He's so dumb.
He's like, do you think volleyball's fun? And the smart character's like, no. And he's like, maybe that's because you suck.
And it's like the sickest
And I just think
bird.
that's the perfect dialogue.
Maybe that's because you suck.
That's because you suck. When you start not sucking, maybe you'll like volleyball.
And thus begins the smart character's journey to loving volleyball.
I know, that really does.
He was insulted by it.
Okay, did you know I forgot the word bimbo the other day?
Did you call someone a himbo?
No, I just was like thinking, oh, she's a... And then I was like, what's the female for?
Yeah.
Himbo. And I was like, it's something, but I can't remember.
It's a female version of himbo.
Herbo?
Herbo?
Herbo? This is Everybody Fucking Hates Rand. Your not so friendly real time podcast.
Mm-hmm, no,
right now, anyway. Oh my god. Just get off my back. I'm Emily Jusha.
And I am Sally Goodger, Haikyuu fan number 1.
That's probably true. Haikyuu's biggest fan. We're here today to talk to you about the last 2 Perrin chapters in The Shadow Rising, and God bless us all, the last 2 Perrin chapters for an entire book, because Robert Jordan looked into the future, saw this moment, but only this moment. He didn't see us, railing against him for his toxic masculinity and things like that. He just saw us talking, Robert, I don't want to be with Perrin anymore. He's done too much to make me hate him in this book.
Yeah.
I don't find his romance at all compelling.
No.
And also, I just think I'd rather have a book that's about Matt.
Yeah.
Learning how to be a good military boy.
Please
and thank you, your loving fans.
Your fans.
Your fans.
You're loving fans and you're hating fans. A little bit both. But it's just nice to know that Robert Jordan had, like, a modicum of mercy. And he's like, no Perrin in the fires of heaven.
But then he did take out Matt in the 8th book and was like, here, I'm going to give you anything that could have made this book interesting and just, punt it out the window.
That's why it's impossible for me to start book 8.
Just drop a building on it. I know.
You told me that, and I was like, it's been like a year, and I'm like...
It's the worst, because you have to, be with Elaine and Nynaeve and all the fucking people as they get away from Abu Dar, I forgot what the fucking city is called for a second, to use the Bowl of the Winds, and they, are on a hill and see the city being attacked by Shanshin, and they're like, oh my god, Matt's in there. And Nynaeve's like, we have to go back for him, and Elaine's like, we can't. And you're like, but could you?
Yeah.
But please, could you? And then they just abandon him. It's very upsetting.
God.
Nynaeve's real upset about it, though. So.
Yeah. Elaine, I hate you. Okay, but we're not there yet. Unfortunately, we have to go through these chapters where Perrin gets married.
Where Perrin gets married and fucks.
It's pretty gross. I mean, sex isn't gross.
Sex is great. Between 2 consensual adult partners, it's lovely.
Yeah. Between people who don't annoy me, it's fine.
When I don't have to read about it.
I just find Perrin and Fail, everything I hate about their relationship, really comes to a head in these final 2 chapters. Sorry, I've caught whatever cold Emily had last week, and I'm very snotty. So I apologize if I sound snotty.
You don't, so far.
But, yeah, everything about their relationship that is, like, insufferable is, like, laid out on a beautiful red carpet leading to their marriage.
Tell me more.
Okay. I was planning on it.
I was trying to have an interjection that wasn't
Oh, yeah. Ah, damn it!
We've been doing a lot of transcripts lately.
And it's making me very hyper-conscious of our verbal tics.
See, I'm never going to be able to transcribe that noise.
I know, sometimes I'm just like, noise.
Parentheses, weird noise.
Or sometimes...
Emily does a dumb voice.
Yeah. When we were living in New York, particularly, there's, like, always shit in the background, so I'll just be like, parentheses, I'm sorry about New York, or something like that. But anyways, I will prove my thesis like a good English major. But there's a lot of fighting between the two of them in these chapters, obviously, particularly about what Fail can and cannot do. Like, Perrin's constantly trying to dictate her levels of safety that he feels comfortable with. And then, of course, you have Fail being, like, very physical with him. There's a moment where he's, like, about to go find Loyal and Gaul coming back, where she's just, like, pulling on his arm as hard as she can. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Perrin is, like, a big boy, so she's not, like...
Yeah, I've just been transcribing the episode where we looked at their heights and weights in the Wheel of Time companion. He's 6'1", and where he's, like, upwards of $230.
Yeah, like, he's a beefy boy.
Yeah.
So tiny little Fail isn't, like, moving him. So she just, like, gives up and refuses to, like, have any humility. And it's just like, oh, I was planning to just walk along with you the whole time. Which is just, like, completely immature. And also just, like, don't be physical with don't be violently physical with your partner. Stop trying to, like, move him around and shove him around. Da-da-da-da. And, like, she's always expressing concern for him in a way that's like, Perrin, you're doing something wrong. And as a person who's gotten a lot of that in my life, as someone who's, like, struggled with insomnia and, like, depression, which leads to, like, bad eating habits and just, like, struggling with these things where people are just like, well, you just need to fucking sleep. It's like, it isn't always that easy. So instead of just being like, I'm worried that you're not sleeping enough, how can I help you? Fail's like, fuck off and go to sleep, which is, like, not very supportive. And then when she finally does get him up to bed, she just, like, starts taking his clothes off. And I know there's this whole thing in this world about, like, you need to, like, sleep in your underclothes or whatever, but it's like, maybe don't just start taking his clothes off.
Yeah, that's not great.
And then, of course, there is the classic, Perrin is going to send Fail away on a errand to
get
Andor.
Her out of harm's way.
Which is just like, so it's like, he agrees to marry her on the pretext of her going on this errand, basically.
Yeah, she's like, I'll do it, but we have to bargain first over our marriage, which is a great way to start a marriage.
Yeah.
She's like, we have to get married. And he's like, well, it hasn't been like we can say our engagement vows, but in the Two Rivers, you're supposed to then wait a year. And she's like, well, I've been talking to the ladies, and they say it's cool. And then he's like, fine with it, but, you know, it is not great that is how their marriage starts.
Yeah, I just, like, don't love the idea of your marriage just, like, starting on a bargain. Like,
especially because Perrin is fully like, and then I'll die.
Yeah.
He's like, Fail will go away and be free, and I'll just be dead. And so it's like, you're idealizing this version of your marriage in which you are not a participant.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Yeah, and I just hate when people, like, use matrimony as a bargaining chip, like, so much when I was growing up. I just, like, remember from, like, older women in my life about, like, cousins and family friends or whatever, this idea that it's, like, you need to give him an ultimatum or, like, trade marriage for this. Like, I remember that, like, idea being, like, or floating around the feminine circles that I moved through, that there was something you had to either, like, trick a man into marrying you or, like, use marriage as, like a thing to be negotiated over.
Yeah, like, if he won't marry you, then don't fuck him, you know?
Yeah.
Because that just shows he's not a quality man. And it's like, no, it shows that there's some badness in the relationship.
Yeah, there's just, I don't know, I don't think I'm saying it correctly, but it's just very frustrating. So you've got all these, like, physical things, Perrin not believing Fail is competent, Perrin trying to make decisions for her, Fail being very abusive, Fail being very abrasive, and then there's these, like, weird bargainings. Like, I feel like they're always, like, bargaining in their relationship.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, you should compromise, but your relationship isn't a business deal, you know?
Yeah.
Or a political deal.
She also is just like, so much of their relationship is built on them not being communicative with each other.
Yeah.
And that Perrin's his central martyrdom here is that he's like, I'm going to get Fail to leave, but I'm not going to do it by being like, Fail, I would like you to leave, or genuinely this is something that needs to be done. It's, like, there's no honest conversation. Because he knows she's not going to agree to it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I have to quote-unquote trick her. And Fail fully knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
She's like, I am not fucking stupid. Like,
yeah.
I get what you're doing. But she can't say that to him and be like, okay, I'm agreeing to do this.
Yeah.
And also then, like, there's this whole little combo, you know, when the whole big battle's over and the Two Rivers is safe and the White Cloaks are gone. Perrin's like, I promise I'll never be angry with you. And Fail says, which is actually probably good relationship advice, no, I want you to tell me if you're ever angry.
Yeah.
Don't say you're not going to be angry because people get angry.
Yeah, it's not a promise you can keep.
Yeah, just talk to me when you're angry so then I can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, yeah, deal. But he, like, in his head is like, but she's never going to tell me when she's angry. I'm going to have to work it out on my own.
Which is definitely a problem that this text has and is like a trope for women, because I think we've talked about this before. I'm having deja vu because, like, society conditions women to, like, not say what they're actually feeling, that like anger is not an emotion you are allowed to express, and therefore the only way you have to express it is through these, like, passive aggressive ways. And so this text very much, like, props up that social conditioning where, like, the women are always, in regards to where men are, they have no problem being angry with each other, but in regards to, like, letting a man know that they're angry, it always has to be some roundabout way. Like, there's a relationship, their relationship is a game, which is just, like, so tired. I'm so tired of that narrative.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Like, I know we've said 1,000 times that Perrin and Fail are just, like, so immature because they're getting married when they're, like, 19 or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, the immaturity between the two of them is truly astounding.
It really jumps out in these two scenes.
Yeah.
We did, I don't know if this is clear, we did, like, do a chapter skip because it's, like, Perrin chapter where he marries Fail, and then we do the, like, climax of Nynaeve and Elaine's plot, and then it goes back to Perrin, and so we just grouped the two Perrin chapters.
So we're doing 53 and 56 today, I believe.
So we find out that it's been like a week or whatever since the last time we were with Perrin, and that the Two Rivers have been attacked frequently, and that they're kind of like, oh, we're barely holding them off now. And Perrin's not sleeping, and the women are only on half rations and won't tell the men because the men have to stay strong and fight. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And everyone's calling Perrin Lord, and he doesn't like that, but no one will stop. And he's like, I can't even fucking remember what happens in this chapter. I know, Loyal and Gall get back from closing the Waygate. Loyal carrying Gall.
I know, bridal style.
And Gall's like, he's been carrying me for 3 days. It's been the best 3 days
like,
of my
I love
life.
It. I feel so refreshed.
He literally outran Myrtle and shit.
Gall's like, I'm in love with him.
Gall's like, I would die for Loyal.
Yeah.
He's the only man in the world who's taller than me. Look at me. I'm perfect.
I know, and then we have to get into Gall's weird heterosexual nonsense.
Yeah, with Chiad and Bane, which I was like, I felt like it ended here.
I know.
Like, okay, Gall and Chiad are now a couple. Because Bane goes off with Fail when they're quote-unquote going to deliver a message to Andor, but really they're going to the other villages in the Two Rivers to get some reinforcements. Rally. And Chiad stays with Gall because he is wounded.
Yeah.
And has to stay with Perrin and the Two Rivers. So it was kind of like, okay, so that's that, right?
Resolution.
But no, the rest of the series is like, what is happening? You just have no idea what's fucking going on. Because you're never in any of their heads.
Yeah.
So you're just like, hello?
what is this confusing ale thing?
Why? What's happening?
Nonsense.
I know, just
Y'all
like
should
all
be dating me.
Yeah, or dating me. Perfect boy.
I know. Or Matt.
Or Matt.
Those are the only two things I'd accept.
Have we talked about Gall and Matt before?
I just feel like it'd be very wholesome and funny.
It would be.
Could you imagine how mean they'd be to each other? Like one of those relationships built on bickering.
Yeah, but like in a good way, not in
like,
the Perrin
but in
way.
like a silly way. Yeah.
Teasing.
Yeah, and
Lovingly.
then very good sex afterwards.
I think I'm still in the Matt and Galad camp because I just think it would be so perfect.
There's just, it's the like yin and yang thing going on there.
It's the opposites attract thing, but we do have similar like moral codes.
Yeah.
And like honor systems, so we can actually build a healthy relationship together.
Plus, there's just the hilarious aesthetic composition of Galad being, like, perfect and beautiful, and Matt being, like, the weirdest looking dirty boy you've ever seen.
Lanky, eating a full turkey leg.
Yeah. And Galad just being, like, so beautiful.
He's my perfect boyfriend.
And everyone's like, oh my god.
It's like, oh my, he's a rat.
When is he showered? It is very good, you're right.
He slept in his clothes?
Yeah, it is truly, like, peak romance comedy.
I know. Where is the fan fiction? Come on, people.
Sure
the Wheel of Time fandom is expanding, it feels like. Or at least more people are adding us on Twitter.
That's true. We have gotten a decent amount of follows. Thank you for following us on Twitter and Instagram.
Why haven't they announced the casting for Gawain, Elaine, and Galad? I was thinking about that last night. Because they've already announced, like, Swan. Or they picked a lady who I assume is Swan. Because they have Leanne.
Yeah. I don't know.
So it's like, maybe they're just cutting out that part of the plot. Maybe they were like, none of these three characters are worth anything. The way the text writes it.
I bet that'll be our next big casting. I bet we'll get Elaine, Galad, Gawain, Morgause.
Yeah.
Gareth Bryn.
I
bet we'll get those 5-0s.
All the whitos.
I don't know, though. That is interesting that they've announced some Aes Sedai orders and not, like, Elaine.
I just think that they're going to probably take the text and I think this is the way they're going to do this adaptation, is they're going to focus on the things they think are interesting, which are the Aes Sedai, and not necessarily the royal gossip girls happening over in
we already got
fantasy and/or
we already got royal gossip girls in Game of Thrones.
Exactly. We don't need it. And it's like, you can't live up to Game of Thrones. Like, I'll say this for Game of Thrones, like, the political shit is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's very well thought out.
And, like, the Wheel of Time political shit is just nothing compared to that.
Very confusing.
It's not Wheel of Time strength.
No.
Because there's too many countries. No one makes sense.
There are countries?
Yeah, there are countries?
God bless you, Nathan.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But I do want to see who they cast as Galad.
I know, because they're basically saying this is the perfect man.
This is the hot. Maybe that's why they can't decide. They're like,
who
is the hottest man?
Someone, you have to pull a sword from the stone to be Galad.
Amazing.
Or whatever. You can't even make that joke in fucking Wheel of Time.
Yeah, sword because Rand has to pull a sword from the stone.
Okay, so whatever. Perrin goes to bed, and then he's like in this dream, and he's like, I'm just gonna fucking fight Slayer. Because I fight Slayer in every single, one of my climaxes. Not in a sexual way, but maybe in a sexual way.
Sorry, I shouldn't be so immature. It's just because these are Perrin's sex chapters that I'm just like, ugh.
I know, these are like the sexiest that Perrin's chapters get, is when Fail's like, should we maybe fuck? And Perrin's like, hell yes, we should. And that's like, oh.
It's as charming as their relationship gets. That's it.
But, yeah. Why does... Perrin is constantly fighting Slayer, and I know I've said this to you before, but it goes on forever until the 14th book, and you're just like, this is not an antagonist you should introduce in fucking book 4.
Yeah.
And then have him continue to be the way these long-term fantasy series have to work, and for the most part they work. It works in other aspects of Wheel of Time, is that you have to level up from the foes you're facing. Like, in book 9, Matt's not fucking worried about Trollocs and Myrdril. He's got a creepy, like, assassin that can slide under doors and is hunting him personally, you know? Like, we go up.
Yeah.
There's growth.
Gotta get the final boss, you know?
Yeah, Rand, unfortunately, fights Ishmael 3 times.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's like, okay, now you're gonna fight a different Forsaken, and possibly 2 at a time.
Oh, shit.
For the rest of, like, your chapters. And Perrin is just like, you just have this one guy, and the temptation of Berelain's vagina.
I mean, it is very tempting. She's a very pretty lady.
She is.
But
and
also...
we would all fuck Berelain. We all
I know.
Stop
it's
lying
just like,
to ourselves.
Yeah.
She's beautiful and powerful.
Yeah. So powerful.
Yeah.
So smart and so pretty.
But she's also ethically unsound.
Yeah, that's true. My, like, idealized version of Berelain, which I know is a troublesome sentence, but the one where she, like, has ethics.
Yeah.
And
oh,
isn't,
God.
like...
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Where Berelain's just like, I respect that even though your marriage is clearly not a great one.
Toxic as fuck.
Toxic as fuck. I'm not going to interfere with that. I'm going to let you come to that realization on your own.
Yeah, I'm also going to stop touching you.
Who could she fuck?
Gaul.
Yeah, Gaul's the only one who's there. Gaul's the only fuckable.
There's Gaul and Matt are like the only fuckable boys in all of time.
No, I was just trying to think of who's in Perrin's group that she could fuck. Yeah, it's pretty much just Gaul.
Just Gaul. Definitely.
But then also, like, why would you fuck Perrin if Gaul is standing right there?
I don't understand.
What is the deal?
More proof that Robert Jordan was straight. Because it's just like, Perrin is not
didn't understand that he
interested.
created Gaul, the perfect
Gaul.
boy.
I know. I remember when I first read Perrin's wedding chapters, I thought it was, like, really sweet, and I texted Emily, and I'm like, it's so sweet. And then I just realized that there's, like, Emily helped me identify the primal part of my brain that just, like, wants a big, strong himbo to be my friend.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, I have Bokuto to fulfill this need for me. I don't need Perrin's wedding anymore. So I rescind everything I said in the past.
I like the idea of Perrin's wedding in terms of, like, I like to see the culture mix, although it doesn't really. But I like to see this, like, idea of these little wedding traditions that we, on the eve of some big disaster, are, like, still going through, because that's how communities work. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how communities support each other, is by, like, continuing to uphold our traditions that we cherish. But, like, that's the only part of it I like.
Yeah. No.
Like, I like that they're wearing their little ribbons.
Yeah, and that he, like, wears it to battle.
Yeah, it's cute.
No, I agree. I really like fantasies and, like, secondary worlds that, like, put effort into, like, wedding traditions. Because it's, like, always a very strong part of any culture is, like, what you do at, like, births, weddings, and deaths.
Yeah.
Of course. So, like, yeah, the concept of the Two Rivers weddings is very cute, where they have their ribbons and they have their witnesses.
And it's just, like, a very cutely written little scene where Perrin's, like, nervous, so his hands are shaking, and Faye's just, like, calm and steady, because she's like, I know what I want, and it's this dick. And so she's just, like, as they're saying their vows, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the concept of it is all very nice. It's literally like if you deleted the rest of Perrin and Faye's relationship and just had this one little marriage scene that's like 3 paragraphs long, you'd be like, oh, that's a cute couple.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have the background of spanking and the silent treatment and the fucking verbal and emotional abuse and the lack of communication skills. And so we're just like, oh, great. No.
Yeah, it's very toxic.
It's terrible.
Anyway, they're married or whatever.
Yeah, they're married or whatever, and then there's, like, a big battle. Oh, Perrin also, like, fucking, you know, shot Slayer, and then wakes up, and everyone's like, oh, Lord Luke just ran away with, like, fucking clutching his chest as though wounded.
Yeah.
And Perrin's like, what? Those two guys don't even look the same. What the heck? Perrin hasn't figured out yet that you can change what you look like in the world of dreams. Not that that's relevant in this case.
Because they're literally 2 different people.
I didn't even finish my rant about how it's so annoying that Perrin just keeps fighting Slayer for 10 more books.
I'm sorry, I got distracted talking about himbos.
It's also annoying because, like, we don't even get, any expansion of the Slayer mythos. You know? The Esom / Luke thing is all implied. It's all marginal. It's never like, Perrin's like, hey, who the fuck are you? And Slayer's like, well, let me tell you my name and also my other name. There's a reason I look like both Lan and Rand, the most horrific combo of all time. Just listen to me. Like, here's what happened. Like, he just doesn't say any of that, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like Luke/Isam, like, provides the opportunity to have, like, these interesting marginal, like, Tom Bombadil figures where, like, it alludes to, like, a deeper mythos than the characters need to interact with. So there's, like, this deeper world permeating the Wheel of Time world, as opposed to just, like, we know the Dark One, we know the Forsaken, just, like, you know Sauron and all of his orcs or whatever. But then there's, like, this weird Tom Bombadil dude and, like, all these other wizards who are just, like, doing their thing. And, like, Slayer, whatever, the combo Lucasam Slayer personage triad, like, could provide that really cool, odd, and, like, give Perrin that, like, liminality that his, like, wolf side would suggest.
Yeah, it's just, like, it comes from such contemporary history.
Yeah.
And we're told that in these super roundabout ways. Mm-hmm. That you're like, oh, cool, maybe Slayer's, like, this archetypal figure. But it's like, no, it's just two separate dudes from two separate countries who went to the same place and had some encounter that's never explained to us. Like, we just don't ever know. And that's so frustrating, not in a good way. Yeah, not in a good way. Not in, like, an interesting... Like, I don't think it's ever, like, good to be, like, frustrated about, like, a point of plot confusion. You can be frustrated about a plot. I don't think writers should ever, like, be content that they've confused their readers. Yeah, that's not, like, good writing. Yeah. You should... Maybe if you've mystified your readers, that's different than befuddling them. You know? And also, it's just doesn't follow the video game logic that my heart desires. Which is that if Slayer's the boss here and Perrin can more or less take him out, not kill him, but injure him and send him running, then he should be able to handily beat him 2 books from now, you know? Yeah. I know, it applies this, like, weird Perrin can't beat this level logic. Yes. Which is, like, very frustrating. And also is exactly what Perrin's entire character is on a philosophical level. I can't beat this Perrin's level. Brain cannot beat the level of Wolfman. Am I a furry? He just, like, can't get past that. Level 3. Level 3. He's stuck out constantly. And he tries to do all his leveling up in the last 2 books when Brandon Sanderson finally gets a hold of him and is like, why? Yeah, God bless you, Brandon Sanderson. Branderson, as it were. Branderson saw Perrin's potential and was like, dream shit. This could be fucking cool and cinematic as hell. Too bad Robert Jordan's been fucking around over in Fail's Been Kidnapped land. What are you doing? Yeah. So anyway, Robert Jordan, I thank you. I mean, Brandon Sanderson. B-Sans, you did a good with Perrin. You did assassinate Matt's character, though, and so we're sort of still maybe he had to sacrifice Matt for Perrin's sake, which isn't a sacrifice I'd accept. Yeah, laid Matt on the altar of good character writing. And Matt was like, it's okay, I've had 10 books. And Matt was like, I've been the best character for fucking 10 books. 11 books. Yeah. Because even the one I was absent from, I was the best character. Go ahead, Branderson. Go ahead. I'll die so Perrin can live. Perrin, you're so boring. And then Perrin lives and is like, hello? Brandon? And Brandon's like, oh, it's hideous. Just like Frankenstein. Papa? 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 That's the sound I imagine Victor making. Oh, 100%. What a Victorian dandy. Surprised he didn't faint. We were also talking about... I think he does. We were talking about Frankenstein today, and Ashley was like, I love Frankenstein, because I've studied it like 4 times. And Haley was like, yeah, I don't know anyone who's more obsessed with Frankenstein than you are. And I was like, do I say well, I know someone. As a matter of fact. I was like, I'll just keep my... Yeah. I feel like if I were to go... confusing relationship to myself. No. I feel like if I were to go head-to-head with Ashley, though, like... I don't have the ability to, like, draw out enough enthusiasm for people to, like, believe I love something as much as I do. I would just have to, like, clip together all the times you ranted about Frankenstein on this podcast. And people be like, you like this thing? And I'm like, Sure, yes.
But I don't trust you enough to be vulnerable enough about how much I love Frankenstein because you're
Big
a stranger.
fucking mood.
So I'm just like, mm-hmm.
Except I do that with non-strangers. My family's like, are you excited for Disneyland? And I'm like, yes. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
Look at my face. I'm so excited.
You're like Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, I am Captain Holt. Okay. What the fuck are we talking about? Slayer's dumb, and he runs off with a fucking arrow in him, and then Perrin's like, Fail, will you maybe take a message to Morgoth? And Fail's like, that'll take me 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And Perrin's like, it's fine, we can hold out till then. And Fail's like, I'm not stupid, I know that you guys don't have rations left, and also, there are so many Trollocs. Because Gollum and Loyal are like, there are at least 2,000 Trollocs out there. And Luke's like, maybe 1,000 at the most. Loyal, you've never done battle. And Gaul's like, what about me then, fucko?
I know, it's so
Have
sassy.
I never done battle?
Yeah. It's so good.
I can count.
Yeah.
We both can. You can't count. But oh, Luke's evil. So then... Perrin and Fail get married, whatever. Then Perrin writes like a sad letter to Fail.
It's like, when you see the sun shining, know that it's
me.
my love for you.
Every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Like that swan vine.
Yeah.
Or goose.
I think it's a goose.
Probably. Geese are the fucking
It
worst.
has big geese vibes. I love that vine, though.
Rest in peace,
I
vine.
think that was the vine I showed to my dad to explain what vines are.
Did he love it?
I think he kind of liked it because he at least understood
Yeah.
what was
One
happening.
of my favorite stories is when you showed Chris the look at this graph vine. He's like,
He watched
both
it
parts
like 6
amused
times.
and
He
confused.
just didn't know what to do. He was like
Look at
laughing,
this
but
graph.
only because we were laughing.
Ugh.
But whatever, the Trollocs are coming, so they get all ready. Perrin takes a little mini tour of the village. All the, like, kids and Trollocs are in the center so they can make a break for it.
Kids and Trollocs.
Kids and Trollocs. Kids and Tinkers. Oh my god. Oh, I haven't even talked about
Oh yeah,
Aram.
fucking Arama's here.
He's there, being annoying. Fucking stalking Perrin. Aram's one of the, like, witnesses for Perrin's wedding.
Oh yeah, it's like
Because
Rum
Gaul's
and Loyal.
unconscious.
Yeah, Gaul's like literally unconscious in
Gaul's
the same
literally
room.
unconscious in the same room, and Perrin's like, great time to get married while my
Could you
boyfriend
imagine?
is unconscious.
Sorry, bro, you missed my wedding. You were unconscious.
Gaul's like, what? Would have been awake in like an hour.
Yeah, if you could just let me like sleep off my sleeping pill.
Yeah, come on.
Perrin's like, no, too horny.
Perrin's like, no, I gotta fuck. Gaul's like,
I think I had sex that night.
Yes. It's like the whole point.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I just like, obviously they like cut to black, but I'm just like, did they have time? Or did it happen first time after the battle?
No, I feel like it was right then, you know?
Gross.
I mean, he doesn't talk about it. He just talks about his wedding ribbon. You'd think he'd be like, oh, damn, that sex was
Mediocre.
mediocre.
And stressful.
Mediocre and stressful for Fail. Great for me, because I'm a man. Sorry, men. But am I? Depends. Does your lady partner orgasm on a regular basis?
Do you pay attention to her needs?
Yeah. Talk to her, and that will affect whether or not I'm disappointed in you. Report back to me. Please don't. No, don't. Please don't. Take that back immediately. Just stop. No, I don't want to know. What have I done? If any of you fucking DM me, I'll kill you. Yeah, then there's a battle, I guess.
Yeah, which is boring. It's like troll.
Yeah, it's like a boring battle. The only fun part is when the women join the battle, and it's like Egg's mom being a fucking badass.
Yeah, I bet.
And Matt's sisters just like tag teaming a Trolloc together. It was like stabbing.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
So good.
So that's good. But then Fail's reinforcements arrive, and it's like, oh yay, day is saved. And there's just like, it's very liminal. Perrin's like, sees Fail, and then just like the battle isn't happening. And I'm like,
I know.
Are there still Trollocs to
I was thinking that. They're like having this whole fucking conversation, and I'm like, are you gonna die?
It's like, the way I visualize it is like Perrin's in the middle of this fucking battle, and then he sees like Fail over on a hill, with her reinforcements, and, like, the reinforcements don't even join the battle. Perrin just, like, goes to fail, and then it's like, the battle's over.
Yeah. It's very, like...
It doesn't make sense. Robert Jordan, you did it bad. It's not well written. But whatever. I guess the reinforcements work, but, of course, the White Cloaks did not join the fight because they're a bunch of lunatics. And they're like, we would like to arrest you now. And Perrin's like, no, I made a deal with you that you could arrest me if you actually participated in the fucking fight, which you did not. Therefore, get out of my town.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Yeah. And they're like, fine, we will, but we'll be back 10 books from now to
hold a trial
to draw this plot out longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hell. And then Fail's like, hey, you want to fuck? And Perrin's like, fuck yeah, I do. And then they leave to fuck. And then it flashes over to Padon Fane, who's like, ha ha ha, just so you know, I've been orchestrating some of this, but Luke has also been orchestrating some of it. And it's unclear which of us is, like, working on the orders of a higher power, or if maybe we're just two chaos boys with separate but equally malicious vendettas.
I don't know.
So, like, why are you going to give us points of views from villains if you're not going to be fucking clear about it? You know?
I was literally, the transcript I finished yesterday, it was us in season 1 talking about how Padon Fane keeps popping up with points of view that mean nothing.
Meaningless!
And so here we are 3 seasons later with the same problem.
It's so ridiculous.
He's just like, ma ha ha.
Yeah, he just evil laughs.
Like, literally cackles into a flashlight, chapter ends.
And you're like, why? It's not ominous, it's just him doing his thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to say?
No.
No, yeah.
We'll be free of him for a season now.
Yeah. Weddings usually, fantasy weddings usually are the culmination of a plot.
Shit, I forgot to make a Pinterest board for Perrin and
you
Fail.
did,
It's okay, I have until Monday when the episode releases.
That's true.
Don't let me forget, I have to make a Pinterest board.
I shan't. Like, usually a wedding is how it ends.
Yeah.
You know? And it's kind of nice because in this day and age, it's usually a lesbian wedding.
Unbury your gays.
That's where we're at. Yeah. But I do appreciate, I just want to say I do appreciate the fact that the wedding happens, like, with more of the story to go. Because that's real life.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, and I'm only now really unpacking how damaging my childhood was for me in regards to my relationship with marriage. But when I grew up, it was kind of like marriage is the end. Mm-hmm. It's like you get married and then that's the end of your goal list. Maybe you have kids.
Yeah.
And that's like part of it. But it's just like that's the end of your life. And that's not fucking how it is. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you get married or you're just in a relationship with someone or you don't get married or be in a relationship with anyone at all. Like, life goes on.
And for marriages end.
13 more books, it feels like. You might get kidnapped. Your partner might get kidnapped.
You really never know what's going to happen.
Your
friend might marry a fascist.
You might talk to wolves. Yeah, your friend might marry a fascist and then come back with one eye and be like, oh, hey, and then get snatched by a mist monster, and that's the extent of your conversation.
Yeah, and then your other friend has 3 wives?
Yep. And is dead, perhaps?
What?
Who's to say? He's fighting Satan.
It's all very confusing.
It's all very
confusing. Get married.
Yeah, it's just what happens, though.
Yeah, but, like, from the, like, literary perspective, of course, the king of this was Shakespeare, who at the end just loved to, much like Robert Jordan, pair off all of his couples, no matter how nonsensical it might be. Yeah. And that, like,
and sometimes ominously imply that it won't work out. Yeah. Like The Merchant of Venice, you know? When it's like they get married, but you're like, oh, this is gonna fall
should have done that.
Fuck apart.
But there's always also like once everyone's been married, there's like a healing of the land. Like literally, it's like a sacred marriage is I think what it's called in like Arthurian studies or whatever, or just like myth studies. Like a sacred marriage is supposed to heal things. Like you think Aragorn and Arwen at the end of Return of the King.
Thinking about them. I know it doesn't even like present their wedding technically, but it feels like their wedding.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's like their coronation or whatever, but like you have that idea of like them getting married is like the last thing the land needs to like bring it back to a place of like prosperity. So it's very interesting to get. It's because Perrin in particular has the most like pastoral sort of narrative. So like it seems very much like his narrative would end with this like sacred wedding, but it happens more or less at the beginning. So yeah, just reiterating what you said with 2 examples.
You did good, though, because you actually had examples. I was just like, childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma is a big deal. I've been thinking a lot about my childhood relationship to weddings, too, because I have a very good friend who just got engaged, which I'm very excited about because I love weddings. But then I'm also like, why is that, like, a weird part of, like, misogyny that I've, like, patriarchy that I've bought into, that I, like, really like wedding stuff, you know? Like, it feels like a trick has been played on. Whatever.
Right. Okay. That little wedding aside is over. So, thank you for listening to Everybody Hates Rant. Thanks to Glenn McKenzie for our theme song. Thanks to all of you. We have some announcements. One is that the $5 tier on Patreon is back up. We came up with a thing that we can do for our $5 patrons. And upper tiers, you know, if you're above $5, you'll also get this. And it's that every month we're going to try and release a video where we unpack in greater detail and with more academic sources and research some of the concepts that we talk about in this podcast. I think our first one will be talking about Joseph Campbell's monomyth. So perhaps I will be talking about how Star Wars is the classic example of that. But also I'll probably try and do something different because it's boring, and then you can never watch Star Wars again without thinking about the monomyth.
Being like,
it's really
upsetting.
But that is our plan. So if that interests you at all, $5 on Patreon.
Hell yeah. You can see our faces.
Yeah. Unfortunately. I've got to get into the realm of video editing. Also, we have updated because we did reach our goal of making enough monthly money to make sticker merch, which we have now done. Buy our stickers. They're very delightful. But our new goal is to, correct me if I'm wrong, is to make enough income for us to add it to our own incomes and be able to afford a place, an apartment, or a house or whatever with another bedroom or another room that we can turn into a recording studio.
Yes.
We've been recording next to a fridge for 2.5 years. 2 years. I don't know why I just added a half year on.
It feels like a long time.
Those extra 2 weeks. Just felt like
half a year. I don't know.
For 2 years we've been recording next to a fridge, and it really reflects in the audio quality, and for that I apologize.
It's all we have.
It's all we have, unless we wanted to record in Sally's closet.
Which, I mean, we can try out. It just means I have to clean my closet. But yeah, EHR has long ago outpaced our ability to run this show from our kitchen table. So we're hoping to get enough money. I believe we settled on $600 is our next goal, which is about $220 or $30 more than we have currently, which will be enough to cover expenses and keep producing merchandise and help us get that additional bedroom where we can also like run our Patreon book, like have like storage space for all of our craft supplies, and we'll put a special couch in there for Tybalt so he stops fucking scratching our couch.
No, we're just gonna put that couch in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna put our old couch and get a new one. So if you want to help Tybalt get his very own bedroom, forgetting all the EHR stuff, if you want Tybalt to have his own room, we'll put a little sign on it. It says Tybalt's bedroom.
Oh my god.
Support us on Patreon at any level that is comfortable for you.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your grandma.
No, don't. I don't want your grandma to hear me say fuck as much as I do. I mean, if she's into that, I guess.
Tell your cool grandma.
Yeah, like your cool grandma.
Like grandma who was like into
hey,
it.
you cool grandma. Oh,
No.
now I feel like I've taken the bim bam thing.
Yeah.
Cool babies. Cool grandma. Okay, God. This episode has gone on so fucking long, and I'm gonna have to edit out the entire beginning.
You can edit out the whole beginning, or I'm like,
volleyball.
volleyball.
Where we yell at Devin. I have to leave that in there. Thank you again for listening. Do you have a sign-off?
Yeah, but I feel like I, like, blew my shot really early, because today I had to tell multiple people that a bird had a stroke. Like, what is my job?
That's it. Don't do a war crime.
Jesus Christ.